Hey guys, Station X here, and today we're going to be taking a look at this PS5 haul that I've accumulated here. Now, originally this was going to be like a episode 2 of the Xbox Series X versus PS5 games, but I ended up getting a lot more PS5 games than I did Series X, so I thought it was kind of just better to just do it like this. But this pile here that I accumulated is basically a bunch of good games, possibly some bad games, and some weird ones I consider weird at least. Without further ado, let's just kind of jump right into it, with the first game here being NBA 2K21. And all I'm going to say about this really is this is like the first NBA game to be on the PS5, so that's pretty neat. Is Forspoken. This one's a really funny game for the PS5 just because it's kind of bad, and it's so bad that it's actually really funny. The voice acting on it, I kind of quote it almost on a daily basis to myself sometimes, because it's just so bad the way she delivers some of these lines. But like, to me, that's what makes it a good game, is because of how, not good it is. And I got this for a pretty decent price, because for the longest time this was like $50 to $70, like full price, and this thing ended up being $17.99 when I finally went ahead and bought it. So not a bad price, if I do say so myself. Now, the next couple of games we have here are kind of like the indie $34.99 and under games that I kind of started getting like a little bit recently. 41 Hours. It's a pretty cool looking game. We got Ghost Song, which also just kind of looks really cool. I really dig the cover on that. You Suck at Parking, which is just kind of, I don't even think I need to explain the reasoning of why I bought it. It's right there in the title. And we have The Last Worker, which this one really intrigued me because of the fact that it's a PlayStation VR 2 compatible game, which is kind of crazy because of the fact that I've never really seen a PlayStation VR, let alone VR 2 kind of header on a PS5 game before whenever I shop for them. And so this was the first time I saw it, and so I had to get it for that reason, because it's the only game in my collection now that has like that VR symbol and labeling and things like that, which is pretty cool. I don't have the VR 2 because it's kind of ridiculously expensive, but eventually at some point I will have it, and we'll do a video on that, hopefully. But this was a kind of a unique game for me. So we have a game that I got from a friend of mine who gifted it to me, so it was really nice of him, and I really appreciate that. It's a Space For The Unbound, and this game's not actually out here yet. It's coming out soon, but this one's not out in the US region yet, so I mean that's pretty neat that I have a game early technically. And this does have like a full English version basically within this disc, so I could play this now if I wanted to, but I'm gonna keep it sealed for now, just because I have other stuff in the backlog. But this was cool, and I wanted to show it off just because it was a gift from a friend of mine. Now, in the grand scheme of things, as far as like this completing the PS5 collection, this wouldn't technically count because I only collect ESRB games, but it is going to be in the collection. And whenever a friend or family member does help me out with the collection, I always like showing it off in the video, just because it's really nice of them to do that. So yeah, A Space For The Unbound, pretty cool. We have a game that I have a hard time pronouncing the title for this, so I'm just gonna read it how I read it, which is YS8, and this one's pretty cool. Again, really dig the cover, and I got this for a pretty decent price. This is part of some of these you'll notice that they're open, and that's because I got a deal on it where basically if you bought a couple pre-owned games, you got some of them for free. And so this was kind of one of those free games that I got, so that was pretty cool. We have Persona 3 Reloaded, and of course I already did a video of me unboxing the Aegis edition, or the collector's edition, whatever you want to call it. And if you want to check out that video, there will be a link in the description below. I wanted to include it because it was kind of like the more recent PS5 games that I bought, and I'm currently playing this right now, and it is fantastic. It's literally everything I've wanted out of a Persona remake. And so, fantastic game. I think everyone should have the opportunity to play this. It's pretty good. So we have Saints Row, the failed reboot, because I feel like this game was trying to appeal to both the Saints Row 1 and 2 fans and the Saints Row 3 and 4 fans, because it kind of felt like a mixture of both. Although this was advertised going back to its roots, Saints Row 1 and 2. But I just feel like it didn't really please anybody, you know? Like, Saints Row has always had this problem of being called a GTA clone, I guess you could say. But I mean, would think with the fact that there hasn't been a GTA game since 2012 and people being tired of 5, that this would have been able to capitalize on that, but it just could not do it. I actually got this for the low price of $8. This is a brand new sealed PS5 game for $8, and it wasn't like one of those things where I bought it at the store and it was part of their pre-owned stock and they just never, whoever traded it in didn't open it. No, like, this was in their new stock, right? Like, this was considered, when they got this in the mail, it was brand new, and it just got, like, price dropped so low that it was $8. That is insane. I don't know if it's still $8, if it's gone up since then, or if it's gone cheaper since then, but it's definitely something that if you find it for $8, I think it's definitely, worth the $8. Not worth the $70 that it was at the launch of it. Last of Us 2 Remastered. Now, I actually have a funny story with this, because the reason why I never bought like the original, at least not within the first couple months of it, was because of the fact that I always assumed that they were going to make this game a lot sooner than they did. Because obviously when Last of Us 2 came out, it was really close to the PS5 release. I think it was like maybe a year before the PS5 came out, kind of similar to the original Last of Us, how that one came out so late in the PS3's lifespan that they made a PS4 Remastered in about 2014-ish. So I was expecting something in 2021 for the Last of Us 2 Remastered, right? Never ended up happening until 2024, and so finally ended up getting this game, and so I was pretty neat to finally kind of fill that hole in the collection, because it took so long that I ended up just buying the game anyway for PS4. And Last of Us 2 itself is kind of one of those games where you're either going to really like it because you're a huge Last of Us fan, or you're going to really hate it because you're a huge Last of Us fan. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole minutia of what people thought about it. What I thought about it was it just kind of, it did disappoint me a little bit. Obviously I think the first one is way better than this one, and I'm not a huge fan of the ending in particular, but I mean, hey, listen, it was a fun time to play, and it is extremely long, and it is very similar to the first one as far as gameplay goes. They didn't really do anything different, so I mean, if you enjoyed the gameplay of the first one, then you're definitely gonna like this still, and it just looks really pretty. But man, I don't know, some of the story bits, it does drain you a bit, at least for me, in my opinion. Horizon 2 Forbidden West, I actually got this at the same time I bought the Zero Dawn game, which, I was able to play both the first one and the second one kind of back to back, and this was part of that, deal with the pre-owned games, so that's pretty cool. Did get a nice deal on that. But yeah, I was able to, this was just again one of those PlayStation exclusive games I just never got around to playing when they first came out, and so now I have the chance to finally go back and play it. Next up, we have Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, I actually do have this digitally because, again, a friend of mine gifted me the digital copy, so shout out to that person. But I wanted to get the physical, of course. As you guys know, I really enjoy my physical games. And I basically just used whatever rewards coupons I had to kind of get this one, because I do hate getting a digital copy and then buying a physical again, like kind of double dipping in a sense. But I guess to describe this game in the most YouTube friendly way possible, you have a guy here who does some suspicious activity to a group of innocent people here in this location, one of these locations, and they're trying to escape the premises. Basically, similar, a bit of a similar concept to DBD, which was a very popular game. And so, just with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre theme, basically. So, if you're a fan of the movie and you like DBD, it's not a bad game to try out. And last, but certainly not least, Skull and Bones. This game literally came out maybe like 2 days as of, uploading this video 2 days ago. Basically, it's a pirate game made by Ubisoft, and it's like a full-fledged pirate game that's not AC4. You know, if you guys have played AC4, you know what I'm talking about, right? But I did want to try this out because I'm a very big fan of AC4, and that was the first time they really played around with pirate stuff. That was a very fun time, and from what I've seen of promotional stuff, it looks really good. I'm just hoping it plays really good, right? This game's gone through some turbulence, if you say, some ups and downs, because of the fact that this thing took a really long time to release, and it finally did. And so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that it's a good game. It's a little too early to really say, and especially since I haven't played it yet, but this will kind of be the next game after Persona 3 that I really give a try. That will be it for my PS5 games haul. What do you guys think? Was it good? Was it bad? Was it weird? Who knows? Let me know in the comments below what you think. As always, I've been Station X, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.
Baby,